Okay, the following puzzle is an example of what happens when somebody attempts to grab material without examining the vulnerabilities of his own position. In this puzzle, it's white's move. White makes the move, knight takes c6. The problem with this move is that white's king is actually in a very vulnerable position. Notice that the g3 square is covered by the f5 knight, the f1 square is covered, and the e2 square is covered by the a6 bishop. So the king is in a vulnerable position. So the question for you is, how does black take advantage of it? What move should black make? Well, black moves queen to c3. This attacks the knight as well as threatens an attack on the white king. White, now realizing his vulnerability, decides to defend the king with rook to d1 and has to let the knight go. Let's look at some possibilities here of what would happen if white attempted to save the knight instead of moving this rook over to d1. One possibility would be knight to e5, and then I'll just step through the moves here and show you what can happen. Notice that the king, having no easy place to move, eventually will be mated. That's one variation. Another possibility is knight to d4. This is a little tougher for black, but it still ends up in mate. Here black checks the king, the knight blocks, queen takes the knight. Notice that the bishop on a6 is covering the square, so the queen is able to do that without getting captured. The king continues to flee. Now at this point, black cannot check the king because this square is covered by the f4 square, the queen on f4, and also this row here is covered by this rook. So first thing he has to do is get this queen away from protecting the e3 square. So he moves the knight, tries to bait the queen out of the way. Queen continues to cover the e3 square. Now he pushes a pawn, continuing to attempt to force the queen to move away. Now the queen at this point goes ahead and takes the knight, and after that it's a foregone conclusion that eventually king gets mated, white gets mated. Another possibility is this one. White moves to e7, and this is still a problem. Black can take that knight, and the king here, white king, is still vulnerable. So white will have to move over here and try to trade queens. But in any case, white is down in material, and the game will continue. So that's it. And I'm going to end this puzzle. Actually, no, I've got another thing to show you. Let's go ahead and look at puzzle again from the beginning. This is the point where white made the mistake. So the question is, what's a better move for white here? Well, one possible move that white can make is pawn to g4. This pushes the knight off the f5 square and gives white a little breathing room. He's still in kind of an awkward position with his king being here, but at least he can continue the game. So that's it. I will find stop and stop.